Are we excited to talk about pelvic health, sexy time? Yes. And everything in between? Yes. We are ready. Everyone's like, my pelvic floor is braced. It's ready to hear this talk. So I have a real question for all of you. On the average day, you wake up in the morning, you have your coffee, you have your tea, you listen or read the news, and then you're thinking, I'm going to do something for my pelvic health. How many of you, show of hands, you do that every single day? Okay, my friends, we have some work to do. But it's fair, right? It's fair. Pelvic health, when we think about it, it wasn't part of our mental scripting when we think of wellness, our bodies, exercise. I didn't hear about this in grade school. My Nigerian aunties and my parents did not tell me about my pelvic floor. I stumbled upon it the summer going into my sophomore year in high school. I got an internship with a physical therapist that I thought was a sports therapist. And I walk in, her name's Kathy Tesco, and she said, okay, UC, our first patient is a 19-year-old male with penis pain and rectal pain. Skirt, skirt. What? I had questions. First of all, what is a pelvic floor? And I thought that only women and vagina owners had issues down there. What about sexy time? What about those people who always pee when they laugh or jump? Even as a kid, I was like, that doesn't seem like that should be happening, right? And so I'm going to tell you a few things about the pelvic floor. The first thing we have to realize is that our pelvic floor, we have to think of our pelvic floor as being in executive leadership in our bodies. Okay, our brain is the boss. But our pelvic floor is a very much trusted advisor because it's responsible, because it's oriented at the bottom of our pelvis, from the front of our pubic bone all the way to the tailbone. It holds our organs inside of us, which I know you're like, that's a bit on the nose. And I'm like, I know, but that's a real task. It pumps blood back to our hearts, back up through our organs. It helps us with peeing, pooping, childbirth if you so choose. It stabilizes our spine, hips, our abdomen. And most importantly, it's vital for sexy time. Vital. Okay, we're going to talk about that at the end. I always save the fun stuff for the end. The second thing we have to realize is that our pelvic floor is an equal opportunity employer. It's in every body, for everybody. No matter your age, gender, everyone has a pelvic floor. And the pelvic floor is a muscle. What happens when we don't use muscle? What if we just sat around and didn't move at all? What would happen to our muscles? It would shrink, right? It would atrophy, wouldn't do its job. And every time when people think about their pelvic floor, the third thing is, they say Kegels. Well, the thing is, I'm going to say something controversial, okay? Kegels are not the answer. No, because our pelvic floor is a loyal team player. It works with our abs, our diaphragm, our back, our booties. If your back is mad, guess who else is mad? Your pelvic floor. It's not functioning right. How many of y'all have been to PT for back pain? And they're telling you have to do your abs. One time did they talk to you about your pelvic floor? Yes, yes. She did, right? But your pelvic floor works as part of a team, and they have to be coordinated. So let's do a body exercise, shall we? All right, so everyone, if you're sitting with your legs crossed, if you can uncross your legs, uncross them. Make sure your feet are about hip width apart. If you're standing, I want you to stand with your feet about hip width apart. You don't want to be arched. You don't want to be like this. You just want to be kind of like in a neutral spot. I want you all to do a quick body check. Relax your jaw, please. Bring your shoulders out of your ears. Let your belly hang. Just let it be. Relax your toes. Okay, and then I want you to take a breath into your rib cage. So when you inhale, you're going to breathe in through your nose, let your rib cage expand, and you want to feel that into your pelvic floor, into the anus, into the vagina, into the penis, and then exhale. And I want you to do that again. Inhale, really feel it into the bowl of the pelvis, exhale. Now, we're going to do something else. What you're going to do, and I'm going to do 2 instructions here for vagina owners and penis owners. You're going to blow out the birthday candle at the same time as you squeeze and lift the urethra, vagina, and anus, like you're picking up a napkin. With the penis, you want to imagine that you're pulling it into your body or you're nodding it toward your stomach. Was that easy, hard? Not sure. I see a lot of faces. I see a lot of concentrated faces. A lot of people just like, I saw a couple shoulders going up. Right? One of the things that I tell people about Kegels and the pelvic floor is that your pelvic floor has to contract, it has to go up, but it also has to come down, and it has to be able to lengthen. I never blindly prescribe Kegels, ever, because I don't know what's going on in your body. If you're a person that has chronic pelvic pain, constipation, if it hurts to put tampons in, if it hurts to put any type of sexual touch on you with your genitals, I'm going to have to assess you first. Because if you're doing Kegels and you have those issues, or if you're holding, the yoni egg in your vagina the whole time or in your anus the whole time, you might be winding up that pain cycle. Right? So we have to realize that you can still do a diaphragmatic breath and do wonders for your pelvic floor. You can do a Kegel, but if you must do it on your own, I would suggest sticking the finger inside the vagina, sticking a finger or toy in the anus, and practice that squeeze and pull. You're going to lift, you're going to squeeze and lift, you're going to let go, and then you want to make sure that you lengthen. You go to the 2nd floor, lobby, basement. 2nd floor, lobby, basement. Okay? But if you can and you have access, see a pelvic health physical therapist like myself. You can see us virtually, you could see us in person. Another thing I want us to remember is the pelvic floor is your secret weapon, one of your secret weapons for a satisfying sex life. So here's the thing about sex. Everyone thinks it's about the genitals. Yeah. It's a part of it. But also remember, there's a mix of hormones, context, social context, cultural context. What type of stressors, what type of oppressions are you dealing with on a daily basis? Everyone here. Your body, all of that, your pelvis holds on to that. So if you're a person that's constantly sucking in all day and your back is crunched and your butt's clenched and you're like this, what do you think happens to blood flow in your genitals if you're clenched all the time? Not a lot. And what's essential for arousal? Sexual arousal. Blood flow. It makes the penis do this. It relaxes the pelvic floor. The vagina tense during arousal. You get increased lubrication, all with that blood flow. But if you're constricting that blood flow all the time, it's not going to work. People are like, but what about having a tight vagina? Well, is it about having a tight vagina based on what society wants us to have? Or is it having a vagina that you know how to control and manipulate at your own pleasure, at your own pace? As well as a penis, right? We want to be able to have control of our pelvic health. We want to have control of our pelvic floor. We need to dispel the myth that it's only for people who have babies, or only for people going through menopause, or only for women and vagina owners. It's for everybody. So make sure that you create a seat at the table for your pelvic floor when it comes to your health. And make it a priority every day. Give yourself a belly breath love note. That's all I got for you, folks.